The two most harmful vitamins for leg weakening following 60. Feeling your legs become weaker, heavier, or sore could indicate serious concern. Observe that even standing for a long period, walking or ascending stairs, is starting to be difficult. If so, be very careful. What I'm about to show in this video could be something you'd never guess, and could help clarify precisely why this is occurring. After decades of clinical practice specializing in geriatric nutrition, I've discovered a shocking connection that few doctors discuss. I'm Dr. Darren Mitchell, and my research has identified that eating certain hazardous foods, along with two vitamins shockingly deemed necessary for health, are sapping the strength in your legs. Sure, vitamins that everyone claims are helpful for, you can really be making your muscles weaker, straining your joints, and causing your legs to be unsteady, uncomfortable, and exposed. The most terrifying aspect is these hazards are in your daily existence. Every sip and every mouthful could be nourishing the weakness you experience. But it carries on. These two vitamins you might be popping right now will truly astound you. When in fact you're hastening muscular loss and undermining your legs, you likely purchase them at the pharmacy with best intentions, believing you are safeguarding yourself, caring of your body, and fortifying your bones. This film will reveal the reality behind these pills and foods. You'll know what is actually causing the weariness, edema, stiffness, and pain that keeps recurring. Most importantly, you will discover what to avoid and alter from now to recover your power, vitality, and autonomy. Wish to maintain your leg strength for years and age healthily? Then stay with me till the end. Sweets and sugary foods represent one of the most significant threats to leg health after age 60. Regular consumption of cookies, cakes, pastries, candy, and other sugary treats triggers a cascade of harmful effects, specifically targeting leg strength and function. The immediate impact occurs through dramatic blood sugar spikes, which promotes systemic inflammation throughout the body. This inflammation directly affects the muscles and joints in your legs, causing increased stiffness, pain, and reduced range of motion. For those already experiencing age-related muscle loss, this added inflammation accelerates the weakening process. Beyond immediate effects, the advanced glycation end products, AGEs, formed when excess sugar reacts with proteins in your body, are particularly damaging to leg health. These compounds accumulate in joint tissues, tendons, and muscles, making them less flexible and more prone to injury. AGEs also interfere with normal tissue repair processes, meaning even minor leg strains take longer to heal. Sugary foods also contribute to weight gain, placing additional stress on already vulnerable leg joints and muscles. This extra weight requires more strength to support, creating a challenging cycle where legs become weaker while having to bear more burden. The combination of increased weight and decreased muscle mass significantly impacts mobility and increases fall risk. Perhaps most concerning is sugar's impact on collagen, a protein essential for maintaining the integrity of muscles, tendons, and cartilage in your legs. Excess sugar damages collagen through a process called glycation, making these structures more brittle and less functional. This degradation is particularly problematic for knee and hip joints, which rely on healthy collagen for smooth, pain-free movement. The insulin resistance that develops with regular sugar consumption further compounds these issues by affecting how efficiently muscles can access and utilize energy. This metabolic disruption leaves leg muscles feeling weak and fatigued, making everyday activities like climbing stairs or walking increasingly difficult. Studies have shown that reducing sugar intake can lead to noticeable improvements in joint pain and muscle function within just a few weeks. This makes limiting sweets and sugary foods one of the most effective dietary changes for preserving leg strength and mobility after 60. Fries are hard to resist, but the harm they do to the body after 60 cannot be overlooked. Rich in trans and saturated fats, these foods raise inflammatory markers in the body. This inflammation directly impacts the muscles and joints, hence stiffening the legs, increasing their discomfort, and predisposing them to damage. Fried meals fat also hinders blood flow, complicating muscle oxygenation. Poor circulation robs the body of its capacity to heal and grow strong. Fried meals also cause blood vessel blockage, which further restricts the passage of vital nutrients to the leg muscles. Over time, this mechanism weakens the body's support and hastens joint wear. Among the key offenders are foods such as donuts, chicken nuggets, and French fries. The flavor does not warrant the health harm. Have you ever noticed that after a dinner high in fried foods, your legs felt more sore and heavier? Your body is responding to the surplus of harmful fats. These foods' long digestion uses a lot of energy. Thus, less is left for the muscles. This diet may directly reflect in leg fatigue. Furthermore, regular eating of fried meals has been associated with weight gain, which further compounds the strain on the lower extremities. Fried foods also have low nutritional density, providing few vitamins, minerals, and proteins, actually strengthening the muscles. A diet ruled by this kind of food creates an imbalance that encourages loss of muscle mass. Less muscle causes the legs to lose stability and rigidity, affecting your capacity to carry weight, ascend stairs, or walk securely. Avoiding fried foods is one of several straightforward actions that can help you maintain your mobility and independence. Changing fried foods for better cooking techniques helps to save your legs. Though its impact on the body, particularly after 60, is far from benign, white bread is a typical breakfast and snack item. Made from refined flour, it goes through a procedure removing most of the fibers and necessary nutrients. This makes it a quickly absorbed carbohydrate that raises blood glucose levels. These spikes directly impact muscular health, particularly in the legs, generating fatigue and weakness. Regular eating causes metabolic imbalance. White bread, low in fiber and high in glycemic index, also increases insulin resistance. This impairs the entrance of glucose into muscle cells, influencing the energy and strength required for daily activities. Muscle firmness in the legs is more difficult to keep the less energy they get. This can develop into muscle mass loss, something somewhat typical with aging. In this case, white bread stops being a neutral food and starts to be a cause of irritation. White bread's effects extend beyond glucose. Being a diet low in proteins and minerals, it provides no genuine help for muscle recovery. To prevent sarcopenia, the progressive loss of muscle, older persons require more proteins. Neglecting alternative protein sources and consuming white bread every day is a mistake that depletes the body meal by meal. This could result in unresistant, weary, unsteady legs. Apart from not nourishing, white bread encourages weight increase, particularly when paired with butter, cheeses, or desserts. Excess weight puts pressure on the legs, already inherently more fragile in later ages. Pain, inflammation, and an increased risk of injury follow. White bread limits mobility rather than supporting it. Every bite could appear innocuous, but the total of bad eating practices is what causes the most harm. Fortunately, there are many more nutritional and better substitutes. Whole grain breads, naturally fermented or manufactured with grains like oats, flaxseed, and rye provide beneficial fibers and nutrients. They indirectly enhance muscles, promote digestion, and aid to normalize blood sugar. Combined with proteins and healthy fats, such as eggs or avocado, they create balanced meals. You need not give up bread, simply select better. Still in this movie, you will find the 2 worst vitamins that impair your legs. With age, especially when we consider muscle and joint health of the legs, consuming alcoholic drinks is even more dangerous. Beyond 60, the body becomes less efficient in metabolizing alcohol, increasing its detrimental consequences. Among the key results is the challenge in absorbing vital minerals, including calcium, magnesium, and vitamin D. Lacking these components, the muscles weaken and the bones get brittle, heightening the likelihood of fractures and falls. Alcohol also directly hinders muscle repair. This implies that following any physical exertion, the body needs more time to restore the tissues, causing extended pain, fatigue, and an increased chance of damage. The drink also causes dehydration, which impairs muscular flexibility and promotes unpleasant leg cramps. Furthermore, alcohol impairs liver function, which is connected to the synthesis of compounds vital for tissue health. The link between drinking and weight increase is also quite significant. Alcoholic drinks are very calorie-rich and encourage belly fat formation even in moderate quantities. This extra weight strains the legs and calls for more from the joints, impairing the ability to move. Adding this to the natural decrease of muscle mass with aging can have catastrophic effects on mobility and quality of life. Have you observed that your body wakes up more exhausted and aching after a night of drinking? That's the reflection of strain alcohol puts on the muscles and joints. Regular use raises the body's inflammatory levels, which aggravates discomfort and lowers the desire for physical activity. Over time, this practice greatly undermines the body's capacity to remain active and healthy. And shortly, I'm going to disclose which 2 vitamins could weaken your legs. Processed meats like bacon, sausages, and deli meats might seem convenient, but they're particularly problematic for leg health after 60. These products contain high levels of sodium, preservatives, and unhealthy fats that promote inflammation throughout the body. This inflammation directly affects the joints and muscles in your legs, leading to stiffness, pain, and reduced mobility. The nitrates and nitrites used as preservatives in these meats have been linked to oxidative stress, which accelerates muscle deterioration. This is especially concerning for older adults who are already experiencing natural muscle loss. Additionally, the high sodium content in processed meats can cause water retention, leading to swelling in the legs and increased pressure on already vulnerable joints. Regular consumption of processed meats has been associated with poor circulation, which means less oxygen and fewer nutrients reach your leg muscles. This nutritional deficit makes it harder for muscles to maintain their strength and recover from daily use. The combination of inflammation and poor circulation creates the perfect storm for progressive leg weakness. Studies have shown that replacing processed meats with fresh, lean protein sources can significantly reduce inflammatory markers in the body within just a few weeks. This simple dietary change can help preserve muscle mass and function, allowing for greater independence and mobility as you age. While many turn to artificial sweeteners to reduce sugar intake, these substitutes may be causing more harm than good, especially for leg health after 60. Despite being calorie-free, artificial sweeteners like aspartame, sucralose, and saccharin have been linked to metabolic disruptions that affect muscle function and strength. Research suggests that artificial sweeteners can alter gut bacteria, leading to increased inflammation throughout the body. This systemic inflammation can target joints and muscles, contributing to the weakness and discomfort many experience in their legs as they age. Additionally, these sweeteners may interfere with glucose metabolism, potentially reducing the energy available to muscle cells. Some studies have found connections between artificial sweetener consumption and neurological symptoms, including muscle tremors and weakness. While more research is needed, there's growing concern about how these chemicals interact with our nervous system, which controls muscle function and coordination. Perhaps most concerning is that artificial sweeteners may actually increase cravings for sweet foods, leading to poor dietary choices that further compromise muscle health. By disrupting the body's natural ability to regulate calorie intake, these sweeteners can indirectly contribute to weight gain, putting additional stress on aging legs. Canned soups are often seen as a convenient and comforting meal option, but they harbor hidden dangers for leg health, especially after 60. The primary concern is their extremely high sodium content, with a single serving often containing more than half of the recommended daily intake. This excess sodium leads to water retention and increased blood pressure, both of which can cause swelling and discomfort in the legs. The inflammation triggered by high-sodium foods affects the entire body, but is particularly noticeable in the extremities. This inflammation can exacerbate joint pain and stiffness, making movement more difficult and uncomfortable. For those already experiencing age-related muscle loss, this added inflammation accelerates the weakening process. Many canned soups also contain MSG, monosodium glutamate, and other flavor enhancers that some studies have linked to muscle fatigue and weakness. These additives can trigger inflammatory responses in sensitive individuals, further compromising leg strength and function. The processing required for canned soups often strips away many of the nutrients found in fresh ingredients. This means that while you might feel temporarily satisfied, your muscles aren't receiving the protein, vitamins, and minerals they need to maintain strength and function. This nutritional deficit becomes increasingly important after 60, when the body requires more high-quality nutrition to combat natural muscle loss. Once promoted as a healthy alternative to butter, margarine has proven to be particularly harmful for leg health after 60. Traditional margarines contain trans fats, which are known to increase inflammation throughout the body. This inflammation directly impacts the joints and muscles in your legs, contributing to stiffness, pain, and progressive weakness. Trans fats also interfere with the body's ability to utilize essential fatty acids that are crucial for muscle function and recovery. This disruption makes it more difficult for aging muscles to maintain their strength and elasticity. Additionally, these harmful fats can contribute to arterial plaque buildup, reducing blood flow to the legs and depriving muscles of oxygen and nutrients. Many margarines also contain artificial colorings, flavorings, and preservatives that may trigger inflammatory responses in sensitive individuals. This added inflammation compounds the natural inflammatory processes that occur with aging, accelerating muscle deterioration and joint degradation. Even trans fat-free margarines often contain highly processed vegetable oils that can promote inflammation when consumed regularly. These oils are typically high in omega-6 fatty acids and low in omega-3s, creating an imbalance that further contributes to chronic inflammation throughout the body. Fast food represents a perfect storm of factors that contribute to leg weakness after 60. These meals typically combine refined carbohydrates, unhealthy fats, excessive sodium, and chemical additives, all of which can undermine leg strength and function through different mechanisms. The high-calorie content of fast food contributes to weight gain, placing additional stress on already vulnerable leg joints and muscles. This extra weight requires more strength to support, creating a challenging cycle where legs become weaker while having to bear more burden. Fast food is notoriously low in essential nutrients that support muscle health, including high-quality protein, vitamins, and minerals. This nutritional void makes it nearly impossible for aging muscles to maintain their mass and strength, accelerating the natural sarcopenia process that occurs with aging. The excessive sodium in fast food causes water retention and bloating, particularly noticeable in the legs and ankles. This fluid retention increases pressure on blood vessels and joints, contributing to discomfort and reduced mobility. Additionally, the inflammatory response triggered by fast food consumption directly impacts muscle function and recovery. Regular fast food consumption has been linked to insulin resistance, which affects how efficiently muscles can utilize glucose for energy. This metabolic disruption leaves muscles feeling weak and fatigued, making everyday activities increasingly difficult. Sugary cereals may seem like a quick and easy breakfast option, but they pose significant risks to leg health after 60. These products typically contain refined carbohydrates and added sugars that cause rapid spikes in blood glucose levels. These dramatic fluctuations can lead to inflammation in the muscles and joints, directly impacting leg strength and mobility. The high sugar content in these cereals triggers insulin surges that, over time, can contribute to insulin resistance. This metabolic disruption affects how efficiently your muscles can access and utilize energy, resulting in increased fatigue and weakness, particularly noticeable in the legs during physical activity. Most sugary cereals are also devoid of the protein necessary for muscle maintenance and repair. This protein deficiency becomes increasingly problematic after 60, when the body requires more protein to combat natural muscle loss. Without adequate protein, leg muscles gradually weaken, affecting balance, stability, and overall mobility. The artificial colors, flavors, and preservatives commonly found in sugary cereals may trigger inflammatory responses in sensitive individuals. This added inflammation compounds the natural inflammatory processes that occur with aging, accelerating muscle deterioration and joint discomfort in the legs. Perhaps most concerning is that starting the day with a sugary cereal sets up a pattern of poor food choices throughout the day. The rapid blood sugar crash that follows often leads to cravings for more sugary foods, creating a cycle that continuously undermines muscle health and function. Soda is perhaps one of the most detrimental beverages for leg health after 60, with both regular and diet varieties posing unique risks. Regular sodas contain enormous amounts of sugar, often 9 to 12 teaspoons per can, triggering inflammatory responses that directly target muscles and joints in the legs. The phosphoric acid found in most sodas interferes with calcium absorption and utilization, contributing to bone density loss and increasing fracture risk. This is particularly concerning for leg bones that bear the body's weight and are already vulnerable to age-related density decline. Sodas also promote dehydration, as their caffeine content acts as a diuretic, while their sweet taste often replaces water consumption. Proper hydration is essential for muscle function and recovery, and even mild dehydration can significantly impact leg strength and endurance. Diet sodas aren't a better option, as artificial sweeteners have been linked to metabolic disruptions that affect muscle health. Some studies suggest these sweeteners may interfere with gut bacteria balance, potentially triggering inflammatory responses throughout the body, including in leg muscles and joints. Regular soda consumption has been strongly associated with increased risk of type 2 diabetes, which causes poor circulation and nerve damage, particularly affecting the legs and feet. This combination of factors creates a perfect storm for progressive leg weakness and mobility limitations. Microwave popcorn may seem like a harmless snack, but it contains several compounds that can compromise leg health after 60. The bags are typically lined with PFOA, perfluorooctanoic acid, a chemical that has been linked to increased inflammation throughout the body, directly affecting muscle function and joint comfort in the legs. The artificial butter flavoring in many microwave popcorn varieties contains diacetyl, a compound that some research suggests may contribute to cellular damage and inflammation when consumed regularly. This chronic inflammation accelerates muscle deterioration and joint degradation, particularly noticeable in weight-bearing leg muscles. Most commercial microwave popcorn is also heavily salted, contributing to water retention and increased blood pressure. This fluid retention is often most apparent in the legs and ankles, causing discomfort and reduced mobility. The high sodium content also promotes calcium excretion, potentially affecting bone density in the legs over time. The trans fats found in many microwave popcorn brands interfere with the body's ability to utilize essential fatty acids that are crucial for muscle function and recovery. This disruption makes it more difficult for aging leg muscles to maintain their strength and elasticity after daily use. While popcorn itself can be a healthy whole-grain snack, the additives and processing methods used in microwave varieties transform it into a food that potentially undermines leg health and mobility with regular consumption. Frozen dinners might offer convenience, but they present multiple threats to leg health after 60. These processed meals typically contain excessive sodium, sometimes more than a full day's recommended intake in a single serving. This sodium overload leads to water retention and increased blood pressure, both of which can cause swelling and discomfort in the legs. Most frozen dinners are also calorie-dense while being nutrient-poor, lacking the high-quality protein needed to maintain muscle mass. This protein deficiency becomes increasingly problematic after 60, when the body naturally begins losing muscle at an accelerated rate. Without adequate protein, leg muscles gradually weaken, affecting balance, stability, and overall mobility. The preservatives and additives used to extend shelf life and enhance flavor in frozen meals have been linked to increased inflammation throughout the body. This chronic inflammation directly impacts muscle function and joint comfort in the legs, contributing to stiffness and pain with movement. Many frozen dinners are also high in refined carbohydrates that cause rapid blood sugar spikes followed by crashes. These dramatic fluctuations affect energy levels and can leave muscles feeling weak and fatigued, particularly noticeable in the legs during physical activity. The combination of high sodium, low protein, inflammatory additives, and poor nutritional quality makes frozen dinners particularly problematic for maintaining leg strength and function after 60. Regular consumption essentially creates a perfect environment for accelerated muscle loss and reduced mobility. While vitamins are essential for health, excessive vitamin A intake can be surprisingly detrimental to leg strength after 60. Vitamin A toxicity, typically resulting from supplement overuse rather than food sources, can cause bone pain and joint discomfort that's particularly noticeable in the weight-bearing leg joints. Research has shown that excessive vitamin A interferes with vitamin D absorption and utilization, disrupting calcium metabolism and potentially accelerating bone density loss in the legs. This is particularly concerning after 60, when bone density is already naturally declining and fracture risk is increased. High doses of vitamin A can also trigger hypercalcemia, excessive calcium in the blood, which causes muscle weakness and fatigue. This weakness is often most apparent in the large muscle groups of the legs, affecting mobility and stability during everyday activities. Some studies suggest that vitamin A toxicity may damage muscle cell membranes and interfere with proper muscle contraction and relaxation. This disruption can lead to leg muscle cramping, weakness, and reduced endurance, significantly impacting quality of life and independence. The risk of vitamin A overdose is highest among those taking multiple supplements without professional guidance, as this vitamin can be found in multivitamins, dedicated vitamin A supplements, and specialized formulas for eye and skin health. Always consult healthcare providers about supplement use, especially after 60, when the body may process vitamins differently. While vitamin D deficiency is common and concerning, excessive supplementation can paradoxically cause similar symptoms to deficiency, particularly affecting leg health after 60. Vitamin D toxicity leads to hypercalcemia, excessive calcium in the blood, which causes muscle weakness that's often most noticeable in the legs when walking or climbing stairs. Too much vitamin D disrupts the delicate balance of calcium regulation in the body, potentially causing calcium deposits in soft tissues, including muscles and blood vessels. These deposits can interfere with proper muscle function and blood flow to the legs, contributing to weakness and discomfort. The kidney damage associated with vitamin D toxicity further compounds these issues by affecting electrolyte balance and fluid regulation. This disruption can lead to leg swelling, cramping, and weakness that significantly impacts mobility and independence. Excessive vitamin D can also interfere with magnesium absorption and utilization, a mineral essential for proper muscle contraction and relaxation. This magnesium disruption often manifests as leg muscle cramping, twitching, and weakness, particularly noticeable during physical activity. The risk of vitamin D overdose has increased as high-dose supplements have become more popular. While appropriate supplementation is beneficial for many older adults, doses should be determined by blood testing and professional guidance, not self-prescribed based on general recommendations. Understanding how these 15 foods and vitamins affect leg health after 60 empowers you to make informed dietary choices that support mobility and independence. By gradually reducing these harmful items and replacing them with nutrient-dense alternatives, you can help preserve muscle strength, joint function, and overall leg health as you age. Remember that small, consistent changes often yield the most sustainable results. Focus on incorporating more fresh, whole foods that provide the protein, vitamins, and minerals your legs need to stay strong. Stay properly hydrated, maintain appropriate vitamin levels through professional guidance, and combine your improved diet with regular, gentle movement to maximize leg health and function. By nurturing your body with the right nutrition, you're investing in continued mobility, independence, and quality of life for years to come. Your legs literally carry you through life. They deserve the best care possible, especially after 60, when maintaining their strength becomes increasingly important. Now that we've identified the foods and vitamins that can compromise leg strength, let's focus on positive actions you can take to protect and enhance your leg health after 60. These practical recommendations can help counteract the natural muscle loss that occurs with aging and support continued mobility and independence. First, prioritize protein intake throughout the day rather than consuming it primarily at dinner. Aim for 25 to 30 grams of high-quality protein at each meal to provide your muscles with the amino acids they need for maintenance and repair. Excellent sources include lean meats, fish, eggs, dairy, legumes, and plant-based protein combinations. Incorporate anti-inflammatory foods that specifically support leg health, including fatty fish, rich in omega-3s, colorful berries, leafy greens, nuts, and olive oil. These foods help combat the chronic inflammation that contributes to muscle deterioration and joint discomfort in the legs. Stay properly hydrated by drinking water consistently throughout the day. Proper hydration is essential for nutrient transport to muscles, waste removal from tissues, and optimal muscle function. Many older adults have a diminished thirst response, so scheduled hydration is often more effective than relying on thirst cues. Consider working with a healthcare provider to check your vitamin D levels and determine appropriate supplementation if needed. The right amount of vitamin D is crucial for muscle function and bone health, but as we've discussed, both deficiency and excess can compromise leg strength. Incorporate gentle, weight-bearing exercise into your routine to stimulate muscle preservation and bone density maintenance. Activities like walking, Tai Chi, gentle yoga, and water exercises provide benefits while minimizing stress on aging joints. To better protect your leg health, it's important to understand the natural changes that occur in muscles after 60. Sarcopenia, the age-related loss of muscle mass and function, accelerates during this period, with adults typically losing 3 to 5% of their muscle mass per decade after 30, and this rate increases after 60. This muscle loss isn't inevitable or irreversible, but it does require intentional countermeasures. The foods we've discussed can accelerate sarcopenia by increasing inflammation, disrupting metabolism, and failing to provide the nutrients muscles need to maintain their integrity. Muscle fibers also change with age, with fast twitch fibers, responsible for power and quick movements, declining more rapidly than slow twitch fibers. This shift affects balance, reaction time, and the ability to recover from stumbles, increasing fall risk, a major concern for leg health after 60. Mitochondrial function within muscle cells also decreases with age, reducing the energy available to muscles and contributing to fatigue and weakness. Many of the inflammatory foods we've discussed further compromise mitochondrial efficiency, compounding this natural decline. Understanding these changes helps explain why dietary choices become increasingly important after 60. The right nutrition can slow these processes and support continued leg strength and function, while poor choices can dramatically accelerate muscle loss and its associated mobility limitations. Maintaining leg strength after 60 extends far beyond mobility. It directly impacts overall health, independence, and quality of life. Research consistently shows that leg strength is one of the most reliable predictors of longevity and functional independence in older adults. Strong legs support metabolic health by providing larger reservoirs of muscle tissue that help regulate blood sugar and maintain insulin sensitivity. This metabolic benefit helps protect against type 2 diabetes and its complications, which often manifest first in the legs and feet. Leg strength also significantly impacts cardiovascular health by supporting activity levels and improving circulation. The muscle contractions in the legs during movement act as secondary pumps that assist the heart in moving blood throughout the body, reducing strain on the cardiovascular system. Perhaps most importantly, maintaining leg strength preserves independence and social engagement. When legs remain strong, older adults can continue participating in meaningful activities, visiting friends and family, and navigating their communities with confidence. This continued engagement has profound effects on cognitive health and emotional well-being. By avoiding the harmful foods and vitamin imbalances we've discussed and embracing supportive nutrition instead, you're not just protecting your legs, you're investing in your overall health, independence, and quality of life for years to come. Making dietary changes can feel overwhelming, especially when many harmful foods are convenient staples in modern diets. The good news is that transitioning to a leg-friendly diet doesn't require immediate dramatic changes. Gradual shifts often lead to more sustainable results. Start by focusing on addition before subtraction. Rather than immediately eliminating favorite foods, begin by adding more leg-supporting options to your meals. Incorporate more colorful vegetables, fruits, lean proteins, and healthy fats that provide the nutrients your muscles need to thrive. When ready to reduce harmful foods, tackle one category at a time rather than attempting a complete dietary overhaul. For example, you might first focus on reducing processed meats by exploring flavorful alternatives like herb, marinated chicken, fish, or plant-based protein options. Prepare for success by keeping leg-friendly snacks readily available. When hunger strikes, having options like Greek yogurt, hard-boiled eggs, nuts, or fruit within reach makes it easier to avoid the processed foods that undermine leg health. Experiment with herbs and spices to add flavor without sodium. Many of the harmful foods we've discussed are high in salt, but herbs like basil, oregano, thyme, and spices like turmeric and ginger can create satisfying flavors while actually supporting leg health through their anti-inflammatory properties. Remember that consistency matters more than perfection. The occasional indulgence won't undo your progress, but your daily habits will ultimately determine how well your legs serve you in the years ahead. Focus on creating sustainable patterns that support leg health while still allowing for life's pleasures. We've explored the 15 foods and vitamins that can compromise leg health after 60, but knowledge alone doesn't create change. Action does. I encourage you to use this information as a catalyst for positive choices that support your continued mobility and independence. Start today by conducting a simple inventory of your kitchen and identifying which of these harmful foods might be regular parts of your diet. Consider which leg-friendly alternatives might satisfy similar cravings or fulfill similar roles in your meal planning. Share this information with friends and family who support your health journey. Having social support significantly increases the likelihood of successful dietary changes, and your loved ones may benefit from these insights as well. Consider consulting with healthcare providers about appropriate vitamin levels, particularly vitamins D and A, to ensure you're getting what you need without risking the excesses we've discussed. A simple blood test can provide valuable guidance for personalized supplementation. Remember that your legs have carried you through decades of life's journeys, and with proper care, they can continue supporting your adventures for years to come. Every meal is an opportunity to nourish these vital structures that literally keep you moving through life. Thank you for investing this time in understanding how to protect and support your leg health. The choices you make today will shape your mobility tomorrow. And I hope this information empowers you to make decisions that support a strong, active, and independent future.